I'm back. This time I'm on my show, The Experiment. And if those of you who are here for the first time, I'm Joe Soro. This is my experiment, and my experiment is everywhere. All you guys, Daniel, Jay, Search, welcome everyone to a very, 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 very fun evening of laughs, possible some alcohol, and some more analyzations of tonight's game, the Lakers versus the Houston Rockets in the first playoff game of the 2026 season. And it was a good game, a fun game. And we'll go into some other things that I didn't say on Lakers Fast Break. But again, Gerald will be here as well. Gerald wanted to continue to dialogue a little bit, but I did want to have a show not only for the Lakers, but also the Dodgers. Dodgers didn't come up tonight. They did lose to Colorado 4-3, but I'm going to go into the Dodger game a little bit and the Dodger season in general. I don't think I've done that enough. But to start the night, though, I want to go ahead and get on game one of the first round of the NBA playoffs. The Lakers won by 9 tonight against the Houston Rockets, and they had this game pretty much in hand from the beginning. And I just enjoy the fact that the guys are continuing to play their butts off, and the results is winning basketball, and that's all really you can ask for. Really, if you're going to play your ass off, you're going to win more than you lose. You're going to get the support of the fan base, at least for me. I know there's a lot of toxic fans out there, especially Laker fans. We're not those guys. You can tell if you're watching the games and you're paying attention. You know that this sucker is going to make sense, at least, right? So let's see here. So I got to read this because I just made a comment and I was hoping that Jeff would answer it. So Empire, for those of you that are new here, when I say Jeff, it means Empire Jeff. That's my boy Jeff. He has his own show called Empire Jeff. Definitely check that out. Subscribe, hit the notification button on both shows here, and you'll get really, really good content. So Jeff's on the Rob Pelinka ship right now and yelling at everybody in terms of telling everybody to shut the F up. See, this is what happens when you let the guy cook. So he wrote back, how many moves have you read from your couch again? Please remind me, question mark. Jeff and that couch. He loves talking about the couch. Look, I sleep on the couch every now and then. I don't make decisions on the couch. I usually make my decisions when I'm in action. So yeah. So Jeff is on the I'm here still supporting Rob Pelinka, kind of like how he always supports Dave Roberts or has supported Dave Roberts. I'm not going to get into that discussion. Let's see here. 1 second. Let me finish this list on that time. But again, you want to come on, Jeff? You want to talk more? I'm going to send you an invite. You can come if you want. I knew the couch thing was coming. Hold on, I'm saying. Hey, you know what's funny? That picture I did because I was reading it quick. I didn't notice the acronym in there. That picture you sent, I didn't notice it. For those of you who don't know what the hell I'm talking about, if you go on Jeff's Twitter or X, he has this AI thing with Rob Pelinka and Three Stooges, not the Three Stooges, but these three made-up guys with Laker jerseys on. But the beers say something on it. I thought that was kind of funny. I'm going to answer some questions here. Come on, get on here, Mr. Couch Boy. Come on, tell me that I made that decision on the couch. Tell it. Tell everybody. Hey, Isaac, how you doing, man? What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday. Absolutely. Daniel, Barry's Sports Highlights. I got to do some voiceovers for your show, but LFG, Lakers, absolutely. Hey, son, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Shots. See, Tony didn't forget. I didn't forget either, Tony. Here, let me get my rum and my shot glass. All right. Tony, get your shot out. I'm drinking rum, so I'm gonna pour me a shot here, in a literal shot, buckshot. This could be a slug. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, this is for Tony. This is for tonight's game, game one. Pretty much wire to wire almost. It wasn't wire to wire because Houston took a little bit of a lead, but pretty much 4 quarters of pretty good basketball for the LA Lakers. Salute to everybody on the team. Salute to the coaching staff. And salute to Jeff's favorite general manager, Rob Pelinka. Here you go. Taking a shot. Smooth. That's good. Thoughts on people who go. I don't think I have anything negative to say about Coachella. Live music is fun, but the amount of disease that transfers in Coachella could be kind of rival. Doesn't it rival those Royal Caribbean cruise ship type places when they're rented out by like sex groups? I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. Heck, you don't have to even do that kind of stuff on a cruise ship. Usually you can catch it just doing whatever. I don't have anything. See, Coachella's right next to my house. Not next to my house, but it's close. It's like 45 minutes away. So it's a big event, live music, but a lot of money goes to that, man. You got to pay a lot of money to go watch these guys perform. And I heard a story about Justin Bieber. I guess he mailed it in or something and didn't really give the performance that he was supposed to. And this is some of these guys are paying like $2,000, $3,000 to go watch these people play. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I'd rather go to a Super Bowl with that kind of money. Search and destroy. I have to give JJ credit. Yes, absolutely. JJ has this team's psyche pretty well. They're doing pretty well. I can't argue against the fact that this is a pretty damn disciplined team with this guy running the show. And I assess this from my couch in the living room, not the couch in the family room, the living room. So, so you're probably wondering, what's the difference between a living room and a family room?
Is you're allowed in one but not the other?
So the houses that are built now, at least the last 15 years, I've noticed they had an option for me when I first came in to build. They said, all right, Joe, we have this 4-bedroom, 3-bath house that we can build you, or you can modify. You can turn the loft into a bedroom and the dining room into a bedroom, which would make it a 6-bedroom house. So I sat there, I was talking to my wife at the time. I go, do we want this closed out? Like, we're not going to have like 10 kids. So I kind of like the loft. So it's open, right? So we did that. And then when we're in the dining room, like, how the hell do you have a house without a dining room? We're going to have parties here. We're going to have dinners. What the heck? Like, what am I going to really have a bedroom next to the kitchen? I was on the couch thinking about this. And I decided that I needed more room. I was on the couch when I made that decision, Jeff. What do you think I made the right decision? This is like 17 years ago. What do you think?
You make a lot of decisions on the couch, but I think that decision was our observations from the couch, judgment from the couch. But that's actually one that affects your life.
You should have had that picture with Pelinka on a couch.
Oh, no. I've got a rollout. This is the beginning. I've got a rollout. So don't worry. This has been. Here's the thing. I am half-assed tuned into the NBA, and it's still the dumbest league and the dumbest creation of content creators I've ever seen. No. What I'm saying is this. The funny, you know the best part about the whole couch thing and the Pelinka thing and the whole thing about it is, and you and I have gone back and forth on this as much as we possibly can, just as we did with Dave. And the thing is I need to reiterate this because it's very important. People have to understand where I'm coming from on this. I could give two flying fucks if Rob Pelinka is fired tomorrow. I don't feel that way about Dave. So I want to be completely, I want to separate the two here because I have defended both. I also, I'm going to throw this out here, and people are going to say it's stupid out the get-go, but they got to hear the whole context to understand it. I also defended Darvin Ham from a standpoint of it was bigger than him. The problem was bigger than him. It always was, and that proved to be true when he was gone. You know what I mean? It was the same thing. And by the way, JJ Redick calls less timeouts than Darvin Ham for those who always complained about the pockets. But anyways, the thing is basketball is the least thinking sport in the world right now. You have kindergartners in sandbox and grown-ass adults on their couches who think that they know what's going on when they have the slightest clue what's going on. And my thing about Rob is, again, he can be gone tomorrow. I don't care. My thing about Rob is, and I've always told you this, Joe, and I've never switched up on this, so this is true. If you're going to sit here and criticize him for every move that he was part of that went wrong, whether it was him making the decision or not, if he was part of it, he gets the blame. But if he's part of a move, no matter how great it is, he gets zero credit. That's bullshit. Because if you're going to blame him for Zubats getting traded when Magic Johnson did a whole campaign on how he's the one that did it, but he was in the room. Well, he was in the room for AD. He was in the room for Luka. You could say whatever the fuck you want to say about, that fell in his lap. Mookie Betts fell in the Dodgers' lap. You see anyone crying about that? So what I'm saying is, you don't get to play it both ways with Rob, but that's my only thing. The trade he made at the trade deadline when everyone was crying and throwing fits from their couches or their bidets, whatever they were, that trade he made won us a playoff game today. That's all I'm saying. If Luke Kennard went out there and was a minus 17 and was 0 for 9 from 3, Rob should get filleted. But that's not what happened.
My issue with Rob, I'll tell you a quick story on both Roberts and Rob. What is with Robs and Roberts? Is it
don't like that? People on couches don't like people with the name Rob. I don't know what it is. I don't know. People from couches.
So Dave Roberts. See, I think the thing with Dave Roberts, which is funny because he's older than me, right? So that this doesn't make sense, but he is coaching and managing in the generation of now. I didn't like his managerial style. I think that was where my thing was. And then with Rob,
you're talking about Roberts.
Roberts, yeah.
Okay.
And of course him doing the analytical thing a little too heavy added to it was like that bridge of the changing of baseball and then also the best friend thing. So just so you can understand a little bit more, because I've never delved into the details on this, and this is for everybody. I don't parent like today's parents still. I parent honestly at my parents' level with an education, because my parents were very adamant that they said, you need to pay attention to school. They were so adamant. They said, don't worry about a job right now. If you want to go work and make a couple bucks here and there, go ahead during high school. She's like, but my mom was very adamant. She's like, I want you to focus on learning, education. You have 80 years to work. Focus on your education, right? Like that was a big thing with my family because they knew they were deficient in that, but they were great at everything else. But that education was hard when you didn't have it because you don't know how to make money. You don't know how to do certain things that can advance you and keep you. Like I always say, it's like my family, my parents knew how to make money, but they didn't know how to adjust to inflation. That's what I do now. Like when people are bitching and whining about California and taxes and all this and all that, I turn into, Frenchie from The Departed. I go, well, What happened? We'll make more fucking money. This is America. You don't make money, you're a fucking douchebag. And then he kicks him and he goes, what are you going to do? Make more money. That's the spirit. Like, what are you going to do? Sit around in the corner and wait for somebody, for some. And I learned, I can't take credit for this either. I went to a Robert Allen seminar in 2000. I didn't implement a fucking thing from that real estate seminar, but I still use the knowledge I learned that day. There was a lady that was speaking. Everybody on that stage was pretentious, arrogant, none of the kind of people that I hang out with in my life. But man, did they quote some shit that I still use. There was a lady there. She goes, believe this or not, people literally walk on the street and think that $1 million or a bunch of money is just going to fall in their lap. Mm-hmm. No, it's not. And those guys that you hear about the story, about them getting money, those are the lottery winners. Not literal lottery winners. I'm talking about, doesn't matter what it is, like the ones that went on their first audition and got the job, and then all of a sudden they turn into Heath Ledger, something like that, right? Like that doesn't happen.
The exception, not the rule. Yeah.
Right. That's the lottery winners. Are you think you're going to win the lottery? Because there's a lottery winner everywhere, somewhere. Do you think you're going to be a lottery winner? No. Then you're going to go the long way on this. So get ready. So now, my parenting skills is still very dictator. And I have the results. The results have worked. And I just got lucky that I was in the same generation of Nick Saban. Saban was still the last line of that old way of doing things, and he was winning and winning and winning. And as he was kind of progressing away, here comes the new age manager coach, the McVays, the Dave Roberts, these types that are now the standard, right? I didn't adjust well. I just didn't. I want Bill Parcells. I want Nick Saban. I want Bill Belichick. I want Chuck Noll. I want those guys. So what was happening is you had this kind of shitty storm between analytically too much, Roberts being everyone's fucking best friend. That's probably what bothered me most about Roberts. But then I'm watching the backstage Dodgers, and they're in the clubhouse, and Kyle Tucker stands up and speaks, and then here comes Edwin Diaz, and Edwin Diaz is sitting, and Roberts wants to hear from him what made you want to be a Dodger, and he goes, stand up. I just started laughing. Yeah. It's like, where was this 10 years ago?
No, but that's the thing. That's where people from that couch don't understand. And Joe, when I talk on things, you know me, you know enough. I've talked to people that have been in the room. I've talked to people that like Dave is very good at never letting it out too quick. You know how when you really see the real Dave Roberts, and you spotted this and you didn't catch this at the time. When you laugh about, they've got some great angles on Dave this year, his facial expressions, when he actually drops the F-bombs. Like in the dugout, I think people misconstrue Doc in front of a microphone versus who Doc really is, right? So the thing is, Doc will sit here and do it, but Doc and the Dodgers organization believe 100% that everything is behind the curtain. They're the Wizard of Oz, right? People got this all fucked up. Like it never was like, yeah, you're my best friend. It never was. It was, I respect you. You're on my team. You work for me. You work with us. We're in this together. I will show you the respect that you earn. I will show you the respect that you deserve publicly. But people really legitimately thought back and thought that Dave wasn't back there just chewing dudes out when they weren't doing their job, or he wasn't having tough conversations with them. And that wasn't the case. It never was the case. And here's the thing. It's the same thing you tell me all the time. Oh, you're too nice. You're too just a nice guy. Like that's why I understand Dave. It's why I understand it. Just because I'm not out here loud and blow hard and breaking shit and going nuts doesn't mean I can't rearrange your face in a hot second. You know what I mean? The difference is I have a line. And this is me until you cross that line. And it's a total different thing. And so Dave has never been a pushover. Dave has never been the guy that's, oh, you're my best friend. and I'm going to do this. Because here's the thing. Dave, what Dave is doing and what Dave has done, and Dave and Rob are two totally different things. Dave is a manager. Rob is an executive. It's two different things, okay? Dave doesn't pick who's on the team. Dave doesn't pick who gets drafted. Dave doesn't pick who's on the 40-man roster. Dave doesn't pick who get calls up. Dave doesn't pick who gets cut. Dave doesn't damn near pick who's in the lineup. They are not the same. They've never been the same. And the difference is, the only thing that makes these two the same is they both got handed a job that they've never done before. That's the only thing the two have in common, is they were both given a job that they never did before and were thrown in an immense situation with unrealistic expectations from an unrealistic fan base who thinks that if you don't win a championship every year, you failed. Which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, because no one does that. You want to compete every year. But anyone that says if you don't win a championship everywhere, you're a failure, that's retarded, because no one can win that. You're holding someone to a standard that isn't achievable. You mean to tell me that if your team is in the playoffs every year, goes at least to the conference finals, breaks through, goes to finals, wins some finals, lose some finals, get to more conference finals, that's not a one hell of a legacy? Of course it is. But if you're going to sit up here and say, well, you went to 5 NBA finals and only won 2, you suck. Fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Now, Rob hasn't done that. But what I'm saying is Dave had to learn on the job and then got cheated twice while learning on the job. Dave got hired in what, Joe? What year did Dave get hired?
2016.
2016. What year did he make the World Series in his tenure, Joe?
Year 2.
And
got cheated.
And okay, so you mean to tell me that you take a coach off the street? He was a bench coach. He was not. You take a man, and Joe, 2017 was a fun team. It was a great team, but it is not this team. Okay, so you take a team. And in 2016, if not for the Chicago Cubs, they probably win it then, right? So you take Dave Roberts, who's a rookie, with a bunch of guys who've never been there before and all them homegrown guys. He makes the World Series in 2017, gets cheated. He goes back to the World Series in 2018, gets cheated. He loses to the World Series winner in 2019, then get cheated, but lost to the World Series winner. Goes to the World Series in 2020 and wins it all. Loses to the team in 21 who won the World Series. 22, one of those years where you kind of paid the tax of the team that went to the championship the year before and everything they went through. Okay, cool. 22 is probably the year, even though that was probably my most heated point with Dave in the moment. I kind of got away from my own kind of beliefs and philosophy. 23, I had no beef with because it was the punt year. They thought Shohei was going to be a free agent a year earlier. They had to skip a year and wait. They got guys like freaking Syndergaard and who's dude that was doing
home run Lance.
Yeah, but no, who's the dude that was doing the Peralta? Like that was a punt year. Okay, so 22 and 23. 22, they didn't lose to a team that went to the World Series or won a World Series. 23, they lost to a team who went to the World Series and lost in Game 7. 1 and 24, 1 and 25. Now, if anyone sits back, if you walked into any meeting with a front office with a resume from 2016 to 2023, before 24 and 25, if you walk in with a resume of year 1 lost to the champion, year 2 lost to the champion and got cheated, year 3 lost to the champion and got cheated, year 4 lost to the champion, year 5 won the championship, year 6 lost to the champion. This is what people weren't connecting the dots on. Baseball is hard. Joe, how many teams make it to the World Series and don't even make the playoffs the next year? Right?
Let's talk about that if we want to start from this century. So the Mets go to the World Series in 2000. They don't see it the next year. Mm-hmm. Arizona wins the championship in 01. They don't go back in 02. Mm-hmm. It's only Philly from 08 to 09, and then the Dodgers.
Yeah.
That's it.
So again, this is what I've always said. In context and in hindsight.
I'm sorry. Texas did, but they lost both times.
They did. Okay. So
Royals too, but they won and
they
lost.
won one. Yeah. So if you, in hindsight, when you look back, yeah, he had some questionable calls, but he was still learning, dude. In 2018, that was his third year on the job. Like, I think people and I was frustrated as hell. I called it. In 2022 when he made that bullpen change. I told everyone in that room, we just lost this series. How the hell do you go to this guy here, right? And I'm a Dave guy. In that was 2018. That was 2022. In 2018, I called it and said it. But he was learning still, right? And he got cheated. So my thing is this. My thing with Dave and Rob were never the same thing. They were never the same thing. The only thing that made the two similar was that they both got handed a job they never did before. Dave has leaps and bounds lapped Rob 1,000 times. Rob is nowhere near the level of success that Dave Roberts is. Big punto. So he's nowhere near, right? My thing with Rob is this, and I'm gonna leave it at this because you and I have had conversations, and I would actually be upset if Dave got fired. I can't say the same thing about Rob. My thing is about Rob the person. My thing isn't about Rob the GM. My thing isn't anything to do with Rob. My thing is everything to do with motherfuckers on the couch. Okay? Because here's the thing. If the Lakers said, breaking news, Rob Pelinka got fired tomorrow, I'd roll over and go back to fucking sleep. I don't care. I don't care about Rob Pelinka at all. At all. All right? My thing about is this. Rob Pelinka has no chance. He's navigating the clutch group. He's navigating all these influences within your organization. And there's something that I can't believe people don't know this, even from intuition and just recognizing and reading a fucking room. This drives me nuts. Rob Pelinka has been managing the books for the Lakers to be sold for over 3 years. And he's still doing it. Rob Pelinka is an accountant. Rob Pelinka is given a budget saying, stay beneath this, stay below this. That's your job. Because this team is going to be sold and we need to control these costs and this. So when we come in, we do it our way. We need this clear. Rob Pelinka's job for his boss was to make sure the deck was cleared when they took over, and he's done that. We don't have to like it. We don't have to like all the moves. We don't have to like it. But he was given a window of contracts he could work with lengthwise. He's been given a cap that was no permission to go over the second apron. He's been doing everything that he's been told to do, which is why he hasn't been fired. Is because he's doing what his bosses have told him to do. Let me tell you something. When Guggenheim snuck in the middle of the night and took that chunk from AEG and snuck in that right of first refusal, this Lakers sale has been going on since 2021. It's been going on since 2021. Now, I don't know about you guys who spent your whole life working for people, which there's nothing wrong with that. But anyone who's ever ran anything, anyone that's been in upper top tier executive level management knows what happens when a transition is coming, when a company is being sold, when a merger is coming into place. The operational guys, the lawyers and the accountant. Rob Pelinka's a lawyer. All agents are lawyers, guys. All agents are lawyers. And I'm not saying that literally. It's figuratively. They are lawyers. Rob Pelinka was brought in to assist with cost control to transition to the Guggenheim Group. We don't have to like it. But 3, 4, 5, whatever years from now, when that purple and gold machine is looking like the blue machine, like Dave Roberts right now, Rob Pelinka is going to get his credit because he made it possible for them to come in with clean with a clean deck. He operated the books he was told to do. Did he miss? It doesn't excuse some of the draft pick miss. That's different. I'm not here to push back on that. But all I'm trying to say is, Joe, Rob Pelinka has been doing the job that has been asked of him by his bosses, and they were his bosses before they bought the team. The funny thing is, Friedman has been working with the Lakers since 2023. He's been consulting with the Lakers since 2023. It leaked this year. What if I told you that Freeland has been to 2 GM meetings within the NBA?
Well, for those of you who don't know this, Stan Kasten was running things in Atlanta for the Hawks.
Yep.
This is a very diverse, not ethnicity, I'm talking very diverse management team that can handle several different sports. And your delivery on this is information that the public doesn't know.
Right.
And the public, and when I mean the public, I'm talking about the hams that you're talking about that do basketball commentary. Mind you, even John Hollinger, I thought he was dead, not literally, but I thought he was,
he's
analytic.
Not.
He's not, right? He's still talking shit about the Lakers 30 years later, still talking shit. Oh, the back end of the Lakers roster is this and that. I go, well, is that all you fucking do is just shit on the Lakers left and right? How about a solution? This team's won 6 championships since I've known this piece of shit. Were you ever saying anything positive then? Because I know J.A. Adande and Bill Plaschke even, I just literally commented on a post by that crater face piece of shit. Whatever troll that you see now, yes, the reason why it's more immense now is because you have thousands and millions of people now that have a voice, unfortunately. There were the Plaschkes, there were the Adandes, there were the John Hollingers. Those are the ones we were yelling at. These are the same people that were criticizing Kobe and Shaq when they were three-peating. So this isn't something new. And maybe there needs to be a re-education on what's really going on. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to find that out from Rob Pelinka. They're not going to find that out from Jeannie Buss. They're going to find out from maybe somebody that's got a connection somewhere that isn't always talking about the same stupid bullshit so they can get clicks. Oh, look what we learned today. We learned, I know I did, that Andrew Friedman was helping out. Now, I knew he was helping out when he was doing an interview earlier in the year, but I didn't know it was from 2023.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it just happened now. See? So, learn something, guys. But see, I don't know necessarily if people want to.
They don't.
No, they want to be on the couch and they want to close the door. They want to get their lotions and creams and all the stretchy pants and be their own star. This has nothing to do with the truth.
And don't get me wrong, I love the couch as much as anyone. You know how much you sat on my couch. My couch is comfortable as fuck. I love my couch. I you know what I mean? But
I can still smell the clean floor too, by the way.
The floor is spotless right now too. We just cleaned it today. No, but this is why I also know that I'm privy to some information that most people don't know. But I think even if they knew, they, like you said, they don't want to know it because they want to spew hate. And again, this doesn't mean that Rob Pelinka is above reproach. This is not what I'm saying. But I have a problem. I have a legitimate problem with those who will sit up here and say that he gets blamed for Zubac's trade because he was in the room, but he gets no credit for being in the room for getting AD. He gets no credit for being in the room for getting Luka Doncic. He gets no credit in the room for getting Austin Reeves. He gets no credit in the room for anything he's done. Everything he's ever done is it's because it's been handed to him. The Dodgers have had a whole lot of shit handed to them too. But you see the narratives? You see how it's different? Winning solves everything, and it changes your opinion on something. I'm not up here saying that Rob Pelinka is a top executive. I'm not saying he's a top 5 GM. I've always, because I said that Doc Roberts was a top 5 manager when everyone hated him. I've never said that about Rob. I'm not up here saying that Rob is a top 5 executive. I've never said that. Have you ever heard me say that?
No.
No. But you've heard me say that Doc is one of the best in baseball. You've heard me say that.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So while I've defended both, it's in different defenses. And my defense when I was defending Darvin Ham, and I had people who literally like wouldn't bring me on their show anymore because I defended Darvin Ham. I literally lost like basketball relationships because I was defending Darvin Ham because people didn't have the intelligence to understand my argument. My argument wasn't that Darvin Ham was a good head coach. My argument was that Darvin Ham is one of maybe 10 problems that are with the team at the time. And it was. And JJ Redick does a lot of the stuff that Darvin Ham did. I still don't think Darvin Ham was a good coach. I just think Darvin Ham was put in an impossible situation. I don't necessarily think that Rob Pelinka is a great GM. I just think that Rob Pelinka is put in a bad situation. That's my argument. And the difference between my argument and everyone else is coming from a perspective of they think they know more than Rob Pelinka. My perspective is coming from I'm speaking facts and I know the situation. So it's different. So my thing is this. Because you, for someone who is very outspoken and real quick to be opinionated and push back on anyone that does it, Joe, you're reasonable though. I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions about you is I think people will probably think because I'm more probably stuck in my ways than you are. I mean, I am like, you know what I mean? I will dig into something if I believe it. I'm not a die on a hill guy. If I know I'm wrong, I'm not taking the fight. But at the same time, I think you're way more reasonable than probably people give you credit for because you come off, you know what I mean? The way kind of your approach is, but you're far more reasonable than people think. And so that's why when we've had conversations, you're like, okay, yeah, okay. F them. I get it, but let's move on, right? So that's what I'm saying. So I know you can see my point. What I'm saying is like, if you're going to blame him for the Zubac trade when he didn't make that call, then you have to give him credit for the AD trade because he was involved in making that call. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. You can't split the difference here. You can't. I don't like the term move the goalpost, but because that's kind of the term that goes around, I'll say it. But you can't do that. Right? You can't flame him for not drafting Cam Whitmore or being part of the process and the brain trust for not drafting Cam Whitmore and not give him any credit for getting Austin Reeves. You can't sit up here and be on him, you know, for the things that he's done wrong when you give him zero credit for the things he's done right. That's all I'm saying. And the wrong may very well outweigh the good. But to be like he's 100% wrong, that's unfair. Because he's not. That's been my biggest beef is, yeah, I didn't like this. I like this. I don't like this. I like this. Be objective. That's been my biggest beef. And you and I have had so many conversations on this, and I feel like you understand where I'm coming from. And you've learned to kind of like, oh, here comes Jeff again with the cow. But at the same time, like Rob Pelinka got this win tonight. Granted, LeBron James, Luke Kennard, JJ Redick coached his ass off. They've been playing together. But what I'm saying is if that trade does not go down, Joe, if he doesn't find someone to take Gabe Vincent, do they get this win tonight?
No.
They don't. So at the end of the day, you don't got to like him to admit that Rob Pelinka made a trade that got us a playoff win in our first game in the playoffs. And did we win game 1 of the playoffs last year, Joe?
Nope.
We didn't. And we had Luka on the team, right? Granted, he wasn't 100%, but we had him, right?
Yep.
And we had Austin Reeves, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had LeBron James, right?
Yep.
That's all am I being unreasonable?
No. The correlation to reaction to those who perform or don't perform comes from different areas. Mm-hmm. And society, and maybe it's always been like this, but it's been like this for a really good amount of time now, is you either are on this side or on that side.
That's like in everything now, right?
Correct.
And you got to publicly state what side you're on.
Right. So here's the side I'm on. You see this? Remember Rob Van Dam? I know you don't, Jeff. Those of you who know who Rob Van Dam is, Rob Van Dam used to come to the ring like this. This is whose side I'm on. Me. You don't watch like I watch. You don't remember. There's a few out there. I'm not saying there isn't. You don't remember like how I remember. So I feel very, very entitled to what I say. And I'm a human being too. I don't like people sometimes. It might just add to this disdain. I don't like the method. I don't like how you said that. And this is not a Rob Pelinka thing. It's not a Dave Roberts thing. It's not anything. There are family members I love to death. I have best friends that do shit every fucking time we hang out that I want to take them by the neck and fucking flip them upside down. Every time. So who are these people where I can't be, I hate this stuff. That's not bad over here, but this shit is whack. That is the difference. That is something that people need to learn. They need to learn. But they don't want to learn. They'll remember, oh, you said this. Oh, and the funny thing about the whole LeBron thing, because I became a LeBron fan the last like 3 months for the first time in my life. I'm like, what is there not to respect from what he's done?
He's put the Lakers first for probably the first time since he's been here.
And I feel very clear on this that there is some humble pie that he's eaten finally. After all these years, he's finally eaten it because he's finally realized, holy shit, these guys are really going to go on without me. Mm-hmm. I think I got to earn my keep again. Maybe that's what he's saying, or maybe he's just putting on a facade to just get what he wants. I don't give a shit the reason, as long as he does it.
I don't think he's doing that, though. I don't think he's doing that, though.
I don't think so either, but let's just say he does. He is. I don't care.
Yeah.
If okay, here. If Ohtani out of nowhere said, I came to the Dodgers because all I want to do is win, and I don't care what anyone thinks around me, and that's all I do, and I sleep, eat, and win, and I don't have friends, I don't have this, the hell with the neighbors. Okay. That's your lifestyle. I don't care. You don't need to be nice to, I don't know. I'm not saying be rude, but I don't like that. I can't control that. I'm a fan of the team. I'm not going to ever know Shohei. I'm probably never going to hang out with him. LeBron too. I don't. That's not something that's in the thought process. I'm an observer. I have an allegiance to this team. I'm supporting these guys because they're playing for the team that I support. As long as you're not hurting kids, hurting women, and killing innocent people, hey, dude, you do you. Mm-hmm. So that's what it comes down to. And there might be a comment that you say. There might be a facial expression. There might be an incident during a game where I'm like, I like that. And I'll like you. Out of nowhere. I've not liked you, and then all of a sudden I'll like you. That's just how my brain works. And in the end, if you look at this from the from the non-entitled area of things, I was talking to some friends of mine just a couple days ago. I said, man, the beginning of my sports life really started in 1988 during the Dodger series when they won the championship. That was my first memory. My dad, God rest his soul, still have never heard him scream. After that, never heard him scream like he did when Gibson hit that ball. When that ball was traveling to the pavilion, I had never, before then and after, heard my father's voice sound like that. Ever. Again, I never heard that sound. He went nuts. I went nuts. And, of course, I was in the Central Valley. And welcome, Joe. Telling the story, I'll get right to you.
Come on, Joe.
So I'm observing that. I'm remembering that, and I'm in Central Valley, Oakland A's fans, San Francisco fans everywhere. Man, when I got to school that next day, it was a killing spree. I went. This is before I even had the quick-witted humor that I have now. This was me just being a brutal kid. You know how brutal kids are. So then I'm into baseball. Then football became really number one after that in 89. And then the NBA 91. Like it was 88, 89, 91, baseball, football, basketball, and I've not missed a beat since. So now I look back and I go, man, I've seen 4 World Series wins, 6 NBA championships, and 2 Super Bowls for my teams. I'm a diehard too on those 3 teams. I'm not just some jerk off. So
not on the teams, anyways.
Right. However, the interesting thing, and I said this on Gerald's show just not too long ago. You know what I'm really looking forward to, Jeff? I'm really excited about this if it can happen. If the Dodgers three-peat, you know how many shows we're going to have comparing this three-peat?
Oh, yeah, to the Lakers three-peat.
To the Lakers three-peat?
And there's not many people that can do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I even said, I'm even going to be even worse. I'm going to compare this three-peat, God willing, to the three-peat of the LA team and then the Minneapolis one.
Yeah.
In 52, 53, and 54. Just because I want to be a dick like that.
Yeah.
So we're still not finding the word. I thought of Blue Crush today. I don't know why. The Blue Crush. Crushing it because Rush crushed.
The Rush Crush.
Rush crushed the homer today, and I was like, Blue Crush.
You're on the Rush Crush bus?
Something like that. Yeah. So, yeah. So, but the thing is, it's not hyperbole. It's not exaggerated here. Honest to God, seriously. If the Dodgers three-peat.
There's no if.
When the Dodgers three-peat.
There is no if. Yeah.
When the Dodgers three-peat, you have to factor in the degree of difficulty in this run. It can be compared to the Yankees of the late 90s without the hitch there, for sure. No argument there. But you also have to understand that there were the A's three-peated in 72, 73, and 74, and then the Yankees five-peated and four-peated before then. But those five-peats, they only had to win 20 games to win 5 championships. The degree of difficulty is different. So when the Dodgers win this year, they will have had to have won 11. It's 11, 13, and 11. So you're looking at 35 games, almost double to win 3 in the most competitive era of baseball in the history of its sport.
Definitely.
Where every pitcher can throw, almost every other pitcher can throw 100 miles an hour. They have movement. It's just, that's just what you got to go. You got to look at the reality of that. And then what if they four-peat?
Which is, yeah.
And here's what I want to happen. I'll put a button on this and I'll get to Gerald in a minute. What I want to happen, just because I'm a prick like this, I want there to be a lockout and another 60-game season.
The bookend?
Book them, right? We four-peat on a 60-game season so that we can hear the crybabies on the couch cry a little bit more.
Because we got the first one on a 60-game season. We get I'm going to get the air horn on that. Hold on.
So I put that timestamp here, April 18th, so everyone knows that I said it before it happens. I want everyone to burn. I want you to burn. I want it to burn in every bit of your freaking piece of shit excuse-filled loser mentality. I was going to say ass, but that's too cliche.
Yeah.
I want it in your soul because I'm tired of losers. And that's what all this is about. It's all about the loser mentality, the excuse machines. the excuse machine on why your team sucks and why your life sucks. We don't need support. Like, we don't need ass kissing either. I don't like that either. But if every fucking time somebody wins and you have to have an excuse for it, what does that tell you? That means there is no excuse anymore. Oh, Patrick Mahomes won a Super Bowl because the refs cheated. Oh, they won because it was a shortened season. Oh, they won because Ray Allen hit a shot. Oh, they won because of his mother came in and changed the offense. Like, at what point does the excuse start to sound as stupid as you look?
We were there already.
It's always there.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to stare at them in the face and tell them who they are. That's why I love this. This is why I love this forum. And at some point, maybe down the road, we'll be lucky enough to where we can look at the Plaschkes and the Nick Wrights. That piece of shit is somebody I'm dying to see face to face so that there can be an unleashing.
Tell us how you really feel.
Stick that fucking the Count from Sesame Street's nose of his up his fucking every fucking orifice in his fucking body. I can't stand that motherfucker.
He does have that nose.
Okay,
You're
so
shy, though. Gosh.
So the important thing here is these guys need to be called out because they've made their bones being complete and utter douchebags. And maybe y'all think I'm a douchebag, but I'm not. I'm not a douchebag. I might be a prick. I might be an asshole, but I'm not a douchebag. Douchebag's a pretty bad word. It should be reserved for a douchebag. That guy's a douchebag. Bill Plaschke's a douchebag. Jay Adande was a douchebag. If you look at some of those guys' articles, they took sides because they got more information. They're whores. That's what they are. And I'm sorry to have to bring this up to all you little sensitive people out there. Whatever's going on with this Rabel and this chick, it's the same thing. It's the same fucking thing. It never changes. She was into him because she wanted that information. They whore themselves. That's what these people do. You know why? Because that's how they keep their jobs. The irony of it is hilarious, by the way. She did all that to keep her job, and she ended up having to quit anyways. And now they're pulling this women-men thing. I'm like, did you forget this fucking guy's a football coach? Why is he going to get fired in football? They don't give a fuck. He just took he just took the worst team that I've ever seen to the Super Bowl. The worst Super Bowl team I've ever seen is the 2025 New England Patriots. They're going to fire him now? No. They're going to fire your ass because you know how many fucking people like you do your job? Millions of people. So, Gerald, Jeff and I were talking about the narratives because that seems to be the word of the era of baseball in LA. And a little bit of now the Lakers, right? Well, I mean, would you agree, Jeff? That the narrative is the word? The narrative of Dave Roberts, the narrative of money being spent. So we're watching a team lose 10 in a row with the richest owner on the planet who spends money. No one is talking about the money there, really.
Yep.
But it's okay if we talk about the Dodgers. They spend the money. Yet every time I see anybody doing anything on the Dodgers, it seems that's either Andy Pajes, it's Dalton Rushing. It's, by the way, brilliant, by the way. And this is another thing I got to props to Roberts today. Pinch hitting. The way he pinch hits Will Smith and how it always works.
And saves his knees in the process. But not only that, but the three names you just mentioned, Joe, what are they?
Homegrown. Andy Pajes, homegrown. Dalton Rushing, homegrown. Will Smith, homegrown. What do you want?
Who was on the mound today?
Sheehan, who didn't even have a good game, still only allowed a couple runs.
But what is
homegrown? we got. How much? You want me to bring everybody else in?
I'm just saying, like, what's the narratives, right? They have no homegrown players, right?
Oh, and by the way, how is it not homegrown if the other team don't want the player? That's another thing. You're telling me Muncy is an Oakland A?
No, Muncy's homegrown.
Muncy is a Dodger. I don't give a fuck where he came from. That motherfucker became a Dodger legend, being a Dodger. Kike, same thing. Rojas, same thing. So if you're gonna yap, back it up. But see, no one tells these guys. That's the problem.
And I don't care what anyone says. Yamamoto's homegrown. It's the first major league team. He's homegrown.
That was the next part I was going to get to. So what?
Sorry.
So Yamamoto, anybody that's coming, anybody that starts with the team and actually flourishes, to me, is homegrown.
Yep.
I'm just going to say this, Joe. You and I talked last year at length about the Dodgers, and I see the way that you're talking about the Dodgers 1 year later at this point in time of the season, and the narrative. You talk about the narratives, and the narrative that you were talking about last year, that they were not meeting that narrative that you were talking in that fashion. Now, they obviously came back and met that narrative in the end, but this year they are playing at an extremely high level and meeting the narrative that you're talking about them this year. Definitely. This is a great way to start off. I mean, despite the loss today, they're still, best record in the MLB. You can't argue with that.
Yeah, it's winning does solve a lot of problems, but see, it's not just the problem, it's the validation. You've got the best. I can't really pick any. The Dodgers have the best front office in baseball. Let's just use that as a starting off point here.
It's not even close.
It's not even close. So validating, I just didn't want this team to become the Atlanta Braves. A lot of my angst was that I lived through. I watched TBS. I have friends of mine that became Atlanta Braves fans because the Superstation was an integral part of our growing up.
It was
movies for guys who like movies. It was Turner was in our home, even though it was an Atlanta channel. Mm-hmm. So I watched
Cubs WGN, right? We had Cubs games.
Cubs. I had WGN, but Ted Turner did something else at that time that just resonated, right?
It was outside of just baseball. They had the channel itself.
He had the wrestling. See, that's the other things. He had wrestling too, which Ted Turner was one of the baddest, billionaires I think that has existed. Just because his personality wasn't a billionaire. He was like a grown kid with a bunch of money, and he had fun with it. So the Braves in '91 were that was when you really that's when I really started getting into baseball. It was '91, and then Barry Bonds and
that team
Pirates and and even Toronto and with Joe Carter, and it was it was building and building and building. And then how freaking badass was the Cleveland Indians in '95 and '97? How they didn't win a championship, and then the Dodgers were having a Rookie of the Year every year. Queiroz, Piazza, Mondesi, Nomo. Hollinsworth, but they couldn't win jack squat. Looking back on it now, we all know why. The O'Malleys were gearing up to sell the team, and then Fox bought it. They didn't know what the hell they were doing.
Looks familiar,
right? And then you look at you told me the story about Piazza. I didn't know that. I didn't know Piazza was a prick like that. I've heard he wasn't the superstar.
He is a grade A prick, and he always has been. Fuck Mike Piazza. He's a grade A asshole, and he always has been. Walk up to for anyone who doesn't know, the people that work at Dodger Stadium, they've been there 30 years, majority of them, right? There are a lot of long-time people that work at Dodger Stadium. Go up to any person, any of the old timers, and just say the name Mike Piazza and watch their response.
Has anybody asked him that question? Why were you such a prick?
To the point where you were. He doesn't interview well. Have you ever seen any of his he's not a good dude, man. He's not a good dude. He never has been. It's why the Dodgers got rid of him. It wasn't the talent was, and I'm not saying that every great talented player is a good guy, and sometimes you got to put up with it, but literally I'm not gonna say everything I told you in that message up here, but he did a lot of if he did that stuff today, he'd be out the league. Some of the stuff that he did. You know what I mean? The way he would talk to people, talk down on people, talk down on fans. Yeah, he was a straight up bitch. I saw it myself. Shout out to Ramon Martinez and Pedro Martinez. For those who were around in that time, they know what it is. But what I'm saying is He was a straight up bitch. And I was one of the only people when he got traded that I wasn't upset because I saw him.
How did Tommy not solve this problem?
I mean, he tried. Carroll's tried. He's a bitch. Always has been. Certainly. Let me ask you something real quick. Sorry. Let me ask you something. Whenever you see baseball legends on TV, when do you ever hear them talk about Mike Piazza?
No.
No one talks about Mike Piazza.
How did he get in the Hall of Fame then?
Just because he had the stats. He had the stats. And I understand that there's a lot of baseball voters who think the same way he does without getting into too deep. But what I'm saying is, you will never hear an MLB legend talk or speak the name of Mike Piazza. You never hear it. Barry Bonds is Barry Bonds. Like, talent aside, he was not known as the great guy, but you don't ever not hear his name mentioned. You don't hear Mike. The only time you hear Mike Piazza's name is from Dodger fans who were mad he got traded.
Damn. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier that the trade happened because that was my last favorite player.
I mean, it doesn't make it easy. Well, yes, it does, but it doesn't. Like, maybe like they could have done something, but they're also, the rest of the league knew he was a world-class piece of shit. So you couldn't get a ransom for him. And it was, I will tell you this. I told you this. The amount of people, and this is also not a notoriously nice guy, but he's a guy who gets talked about, Roger Clemens. The amount of people who hit up Roger Clemens when he had that little beef with Piazza and just like, oh man, get him for us. Just get him for us. And without saying too much, the Latin players were at the front of the line of that shit.
Damn.
So yeah, fuck Mike Piazza. He always been a bitch. I said that to his face.
Man.
I said that to his face. I said that to his face.
You said that to his face. What did he say?
He didn't talk to. He doesn't. He's everyone's beneath him. He don't acknowledge you. I said that to his face. He's a bitch.
Well, props to Ramon Martinez. That's one of the guys that I never.
And Pedro. Pedro, we've had the pleasure of listening to him commentate. One of the best. I don't know what it is about baseball commentators. It's like they're so far and away better than any analyst. It doesn't matter if it's a former player, if it's a geek stat guy. Like you know why.
I know why. I'm speaking rhetorically.
Yeah. You know why? Like,
you can't fuck up with baseball. I know, dude. You know how it took me how many years? I'm 48. I've known you 3 years.
Yeah,
and it's gone by quick, dude. It took me 45 years. I had one guy that I talked baseball with. Not really. No one talks baseball. What is Junior say? I'm like patience on a monument. It's like been like that for 45 of my years before I finally met somebody that knew shit that I knew. That shit was dormant, man. The Dodger shit, baseball, dormant. I'm the only one that would think about it. And it was hard too until they finally let Sportsnet on DirecTV and the normal channels. I had to super box all the Dodger games for the longest time.
I had a separate box. I actually went out and got a Spectrum box. I had DirecTV. I'm a lifelong DirecTV guy. I've had DirecTV since the late 90s. And I went and I paid the just like TV only from Spectrum just to have that channel before DirecTV finally got it. So I had two cable companies. Like, it was the only way I could do it. It's the only way I could do it. But they tried that with the Lakers, right? You went a short time without the Lakers on DirecTV. That was, I don't know the exact time.
I don't think it lasted long.
It did not last long. But what I'm saying, I would say like they got Spectrum Sportsnet, and then during the preseason we didn't have it, but by the time the season started, we had it. The Dodgers went a whole season.
What whole season? They went like 6 years.
No, it was shorter than that. It was way shorter than that. It was
sure?
I'm positive.
It was right after. Was right before the COVID thing.
It was like, huh? It was right before what?
COVID. Oh, I'm thinking 6 years from when the Spectrum thing happened.
No. Like we missed a lot of the 2017 season. But no, it didn't go. The Dodgers didn't go as long without it as you think, but we missed more than we should have. Because and the thing is, you couldn't go watch it in a bar because all the bars had DirecTV. So you really couldn't watch. You had to go to someone's house. You had to, and if you had the Spectrum app, you couldn't watch it outside of your home network on Spectrum. So you literally could not watch Dodger baseball outside of someone's house. You'd have to like randomly find this random ass dive bar that had Spectrum, like to actually get it right. And then that's a whole world of trouble.
Well, props to one of the good things about COVID. We were able to push it through because they knew people were going to be at home at some point, right? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, but the Lakers they fixed it rather quick. The Dodgers, it just didn't happen. And the Dodgers, like at the time, the Dodgers, I'm not going to say the Dodgers didn't care, but it's actually what helped kick off this massive attendance record. Was the Spectrum crossover.
Gerald?
Yes, sir.
How's your cable over there? You have cable?
I do. Yeah, any out of the service outside of Cox is just not worth your time. I've toyed around with.
You have a Cox over there?
Yes, we have Cox.
I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, "There's no way he's like that."
Joe's mind goes. Joe's mind.
Story behind this.
Joe's mind. The gutter. Right.
And Joe, it's COX.
I know.
If I had to spell that for him, then really
so when I was at State, they had the Cox Arena. I'm part of. Boom. See that?
On the West Coast, it's either one or the other.
No, forget about all that. I'm telling you what's going on now. When I was in college, so you see this OX. So we had this plan to take out the C, the light. I was thinking about doing that, but we ended up pussing out. But we did some renditions where it was just the Ox Arena. So there's
no other internet here. You can't use T-Mobile or AT&T. Just the service just sucks.
Well, when see, the puns are gonna they flow like.
I'm trying to avoid any more OX puns for you. I'm trying not to set you up.
They flow like wine. Anyways, Cox Arena. That's where I saw Bash at the Beach and a lot of games, obviously, because we were literally just like maybe 200 feet away.
All right, I'll say it, Empire Jeff. Yes, in Las Vegas, we do have a Cox Pavilion. Go ahead, Joe.
I know.
You want to take a shot?
Go ahead, Joe.
What I miss?
We have a Cox Pavilion here in Vegas.
A Cox Pavilion.
It's adjacent to the.
It's adjacent to the pavilion. Yeah, the puns would. I have a character that I want to write in a movie. His name is Peter Pun.
Well, the story I said about Summer League and when Tristan Vukovic splashed water all over me while they were like running out of a halftime at between Boston.
Was it out of a Cox cup?
See, there you go. See, that's where it happened. Was there next to the Cox Pavilion.
Hey, for those of you who are listening for the first time on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it's called now, this is us. This is who we are.
This is Joe.
Well, actually, this is me. Jeff's kind of, I don't know. Jeff, are you kind of like, you take the trash out for your neighbor and shit when they're not home? Like, you're that guy, right?
Oh yeah, I'll take the trash.
Yeah. See,
walk
like
their
that.
Dog.
Gerald,
if they break in the house.
Gerald used to work in the rental car industry. To me, the rental car industry is only second to serving people food. The two places that I would probably shoot somebody in the face.
I'm sure you would have. Yes, dealing with the customers. Yes, you would.
Rental car business is brutal. Yeah, rental car is brutal. Yeah.
Yes. I used to run Hertz customer service here.
It hurts indeed. It really does.
That's one thing you could say. It was hurting pretty badly every day. Yes.
See, you drip. You're just going too far now, man. Seriously, this is how we talk now. Come on, man. I got to take another shot, guys. So I'm gonna segue into. you saw the whole game, right, Jeff? You saw the Laker game tonight.
So yeah, I saw a good. This was probably one of the games I was going back. I was out and I was wide, was looking at the Dodger game and the Laker game, like back and forth. So literally, I'm sitting at a table, and to the right of me was the Dodger game, and to the left of me was the Laker game. So I was kind of head on a swivel type of thing. But I was couldn't. There was no sound. I couldn't hear the commentary, but I saw like. I watched it, I was watching a good portion of the game while watching the Dodger game. So,
well, what sucks is I got the Gemini box for my DirecTV, right? Thinking, oh, I'm gonna have 4K.
The Gemini or the Genie?
No, I have the Genie. The Gemini it's an extra box that allows me to have all the apps in that box. I don't have to go to my TV now, right? It's an all in one place, and it's right. Okay. One negative that came out of it. I can't split screen on my TV because it's not coming from the box, so I don't have it's different tuners, right?
Yeah,
that's a good question, Drip. Because if Brian said Spectrum is for sale, the only way I could think it affects the Lakers and Dodgers is if they have an out clause in case they're sold.
Jeff, to this. We're talking about this.
Well, I wouldn't think so at how well that they much money they make. Yeah,
they don't. The only one who's an out clause in this is the TV company, not the team.
Because he was just asking for if that.
The question I have now is.
It doesn't work.
Are the Guggenheims going to purchase?
That's what I was going to say right now. So the Guggenheims, there is a fuck.
If you can't say it, don't say it. See, I was trying to set it up, but
I almost started. I've had a few tonight. I can't say what I want to say, but I'm going to word it like this. The Guggenheim has a very strong track record of when they enter negotiations and they enter in an exclusive deal with someone, that there is a particular bit of language in the contract that they work into every single deal. And all I'll say is that's the same language they worked in when they bought AEG's share from the Lakers. I can say that.
When are the Guggenheims going to purchase the land where the crypt is?
That's an interesting one. I can talk about this now. A lot of people didn't realize that they almost bought the Forum. So, yeah, they almost bought the Forum. The Lakers almost went back to Inglewood. This was a real thing when they were negotiating their extended lease with. So, If you go back to when this all came together, of them first entering into a bigger share of the Lakers, there was talk of relocation. There was talk of the Lakers almost sold in 2021. They almost sold, but the timing wasn't right. But they almost sold. From what I understand, it got to like the 25-yard line. It wasn't at the goal line. But this has been, what up, Dante? This has been ongoing for more than half a decade. The 2021 is when they actually did paperwork, but this has been going on for Genie and the Guggenheim Group and Genie and Mark Walter and Magic. Like this has been a thing for a while. They almost, if you go back, Genie actually kind of let this out of the bag briefly, saying that when they signed their when they renegotiated to stay at the time was Staples Center, when they negotiated to renew their lease and stay, she actually put it out there and slipped it that they considered going back to Inglewood. So she actually said it. So anyone who calls me a liar, Genie said it. All right. So that almost happened. It was when the whole thing with the Clippers moving to Inglewood, and there was a whole big old, then Ballmer came in and was like, so there's a lot of people who believe that the Lakers were talking about it, but the main thing was to bait Ballmer into getting it, because anything the Lakers wanted to do, Ballmer had to get his hands in. And so there's people, I've heard two different versions of it, but there's some people who are really, really dialed in who believe that the Dodgers baited him into buying that to get them out of the arena and to get them into their own thing and to get him to take that. And there was a whole big little thing. And then Dolan, there's depending who you talk to, right? But the land is an interesting one because AAG is a whole different entity. So when they went in and they did that deal with AAG to take the shares of them of the team with the right of first refusal, it had nothing whatsoever to do with the land because they didn't enter into any contract with that. If Guggenheim entered into if Guggenheim got even 1% of the land, they would never have taken that 1% without a right of first refusal. If they enter an agreement, they make sure they enter an agreement that if it goes south, they have the option for it all. That's their move. So without saying too much, when I say about the language they go with, you know what I mean? So to my knowledge, and I haven't been able to get anyone to tell me otherwise, to my knowledge, they have no type of arrangement or deal with the land currently. None.
No deal coming yet.
I mean, I haven't heard anything about AEG looking to sell it
Because I'm thinking to myself, if they own that land, there's a little bit more control of
right. But the thing is there's nothing. Guggenheim also doesn't get into like BS leverage plays either. So if AEG is like, okay, we're going to put it on the market, but we're not going to go to you directly behind the scenes. We're going to put this on the open market and see who wants to get it. Guggenheim's like, we're not going to get into a bidding war. Like, if you want to do business with us, if you want our relationship, because they have a tight circle, right? Like, if you want to do direct business, if you want to line this up behind the scenes, we make an announcement together, cool. But if you're going to put that out there amongst everyone, and you're going to have a bunch of people come in and try to go this, we're not getting into that. You know, we're not going to do that. Look at everything that Guggenheim did was kind of just like in the shadows, right? Nothing is out there public. So if it gets to a point where it's a bidding war, I don't think Guggenheim's going after it. It just doesn't reflect how they operate.
But they want to do a bidding war, though.
I mean, it depends. They want to get the top dollar, you know.
Who else?
Because here's the thing. Genie had they had the right of first refusal on the team. That didn't stop Genie from going to get a bigger number. Didn't stop Genie from going to try to get 15 bill. It didn't, and which isn't what they sold for. That's just the evaluation. You know, people get that mixed up. But what I'm saying is it didn't stop Genie from going outside and trying to get a bigger number and making Guggenheim match or refuse that. They negotiate everything behind the scenes, right? So if this comes out, it's like, okay, that whole area is up for sale, which at that point probably would be the Kings too. If that comes down to it, like if it's going out there for public bidding, I don't think Guggenheim does it. I just don't think they do it because I think they'll take it as disrespect. Mm-hmm. We've done business, we're doing this. You're going outside the family, go fuck yourself. Like I don't see them. That's just my opinion. I don't see them doing that. I could be wrong. I don't see them doing that. But the whole thing with the Lakers, the whole things with everything that they've done, has always been in the family. It's just been done with the family. Like it hasn't been like out for public bidding, any of this. Genie probably could have squeezed an extra 1 or 2 bill minimum out of them if she wanted to put it public, but she valued the relationship and also valued the fact that they're going to let her still do her thing. She worked that into the contract. Genie won't be gone until the new TV deal's renegotiated. Once that's done, she's gone. She's gone because what she'll be able to do is she'll be able to get another several billion for her and her. At the end of the day, she's going to end up providing more for her family than her dad ever did. As crazy as it sounds.
Well, she
financially,
has, in a way.
Financially, she already has. But what I'm saying is the legacy of the Butts family, of all those that hate her in her own family, she's going to be the one that delivered on what her dad wanted. She's gonna.
Can she send us a Kobe payment as well? You know, like she gave the execs and Rob. Be nice if she did. 8 or 2. I don't care. I'm not picky, Jeff. 8 or 24. You just give me either. I'm cool with that.
It would be great. But Genie is very, very good to those who
Oh, I know. Yeah.
who have been loyal to her. She got that from her dad. Like she got that for like she is very, very good at taking care of people. And I'm not even talking like all even necessarily the higher end people. I'm talking about just like Jeannie is known for taking care of people. And
Unless your name is West.
well, he brought that on himself. He did. Me and Joe have had numerous conversations about that. He Jerry fucked up. He fucked up.
He said
I love Jerry.
Things,
I love Jerry West.
You don't take away his life.
You don't. It's not. He crossed the line. He was warned several times. He was asked several times.
It's just not a good look.
It's not a good look, but neither will all those voicemails that he got caught on either.
Neither does the PPP loan as well. Well,
no,
I'll give you on the voicemail because that voicemail.
There's more. There's more than that. There's more than that. All right. So what I'm saying is what Jerry did as a competitor and not being able to like Jerry did some stuff that I'm sure that he regretted. I'll say that because there's some stuff that came out publicly, but there's actually more. Jerry was given several chances. He just did some really, really, really dirty stuff to them and unprovoked, completely unprovoked. And it got enough where they're like, okay, we're done warning you. Like, that's it. Like, you can't just keep doing what you're doing. He was smear campaigning them everywhere. And at some point, you know what I mean? You're gonna get smacked for that, no matter who you are. And I don't like it. I don't like that it happened. But to sit here and act like it was just at him, and he had nothing to do with it, and he was innocent in it, is untrue.
No, it's Jerry West.
Right.
According to Jerry West, it's was always very vocal.
Yeah, and he was also I love Jerry West. So I hate that I have.
He's always very detailed in his thoughts on the Lakers.
Back to what we were saying, guys. Again, this is important. Just because we love Jerry West doesn't mean he didn't fuck up too.
Right.
Just because Jeannie is whatever doesn't mean she didn't do good things either.
Right.
That's life. This is a good example to understand that shit like this is reality. You don't go sit over here all day when the person that you're with all day here doing something stupid and you don't tell them. That's how shit goes bad all the time. That's why we're in this rut. This whole rut in society is because people are stuck on their side, whatever side. I'm speaking in objectivity here. You can't do that. So if somebody screws up and he's your boy or your wife or whatever, you can't sit. You defend them if something harm is coming. Obviously, your brother's in trouble. Yeah, it doesn't matter what's going on. This is my brother. I'm still going to protect him. But afterwards, you're like, well, what happened? Well, I fucked his girlfriend. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
So, like,
you see the difference? So go ahead. Sorry.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask Gerald, let me ask you this question. In your opinion, what is, and I'm going to be very thorough in this because this isn't coming from a personal side. It's a business side. In your opinion, what is Jerry West's greatest accomplishment as a Laker? Like the number one thing he did for the Lakers.
More as a GM or more as a player?
Well, either. In your opinion, what was it?
I'd say he probably had a bigger impact on winning because, while he was playing, there was a certain green team that
right.
was dominating. So he only got that opportunity on one small time period where he could excel as a player.
Right.
Well, even though he did excel and is one of the Finals MVP of a losing
as
team.
A loser.
Right? Yeah. I would say as a GM. I would say as the guy that's was running the Lakers for well over a decade, as far as being able to orchestrate the teams, which Joe and I talk so fondly of today. He orchestrated many of those teams.
Okay, so
the Shaq deal, the Kobe,
But as a GM, real quick. Sorry. His number one move as a GM too. What was it?
I'd say Kobe for Vlade.
Okay, glad you said that. Okay, so the reason I'm going to say this is this. If I were to ask you who were the four most important people responsible for Kobe Bryant landing on the Lakers, who would you say those four people were?
Oh, here we go.
I know where this is going.
No, but this is important. I'm not trying to. This is very important. This is very important.
I know where this is going. Go ahead.
No, go, please go ahead. That's okay. I'm gonna avoid the question because I'm
okay. That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
I'm not trying to set you in a trap. I'm just trying to frame a picture here. So
what I'm saying, I'm gonna say for the public, I'm just gonna start with Jerry West and Dr. Jerry Buss.
Okay,
I'll leave it to the Jerrys on that.
And those are two. Those would be two off the top excellent answers.
I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, except for the fact that they're not. So here's what it is. The four most important people for Kobe Bryant ending up on the Los Angeles Lakers, there's no Jerry anywhere near it. Okay. The four people most responsible for Kobe Bryant ending up on the Lakers, the number one guy, bar none, there is no close second. The number one guy who got Kobe Bryant to the Lakers was Sonny Vaccaro. Number two was Arm Tellem. Number three was Kobe Bryant, who called number four John Calipari, who pussied out and got scared to draft him because Kobe told him he didn't want to go there and wanted to be a Laker. But they were prepared to draft him. There's a notorious
back and forth. Yes, I know there was conflict in the Brooklyn/New Jersey Nets. Yes, front office.
So all of those. Jerry West didn't even know who Kobe Bryant was until the workout with Michael Cooper. This was later on towards the draft. Kobe Bryant forced his way to the Lakers via Sonny Vaccaro, via Arm Tellem, who was Pelinka's boss, to the Lakers. Jerry West, having the eye for talent, when he saw him, like, holy shit. Okay, let's get this done. And actually, number 5 was George Shinn.
Charlotte Hornets owner, by the way, for everybody else there.
Right. So my thing is this. When you go down this path, Jerry West is goated for being part of something that he never really orchestrated. Now, he made the move. He was in the room. But this landed in his lap.
So are we saying Rob Pelinka all over again?
What I'm saying is this. You got to give Jerry West credit because he made the deal. It was hand delivered to him, the agent, the player, the Nike executive. It was all handed to him.
But you also he also had to pitch that to the owner to say, oh, by the way, I'm getting a high school player, by the way. I just wanted to let you know.
Who believe it or not, which was Jerry West, is the young, like Jerry Buss wanted that. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, like, Jerry West is, and he's done a lot of great. And at the end of the day, Jerry West got Shaquille O'Neal because the Orlando Magic organization is a dumbass and took a poll out in the Orlando Sentinel. That's how they got him. So, like, my whole thing is this. It's funny how history shines on one versus the other, right? That's been my whole thing. To me, it doesn't matter. To me, I give Jerry West the credit for making that trade because he was the man in charge when they made the trade. That's how it works. It doesn't matter if it fell in your lap. It doesn't matter if you had help. It doesn't matter if you took a risk and you got it right. It doesn't matter if you got it wrong. The man in charge gets the credit or the blame because that is the job. So Jerry West, on his watch, they signed Shaquille O'Neal. On his watch, they traded for Kobe Bryant. On his watch, they traded for Robert Horry. On his watch, they signed Rick Fox, drafted Derek Fisher. On his watch, they signed Phil Jackson, who he didn't want to sign. This is all on his watch. So it's on his resume. Bar none. Bar none.
But I feel a but coming.
No, that's it.
Okay.
What Jeff's saying is there are working parts and then we're
There are
going
working
back to
parts to every situation. I
right.
understand about Vaccaro
And
and his
sometimes
influence,
it's
and
not.
I get
It's not.
that.
Yeah.
That's well
Sometimes.
documented.
Yeah. It's sometimes it's.
This isn't
Go
a
ahead.
Jerry West, Rob Pelinka thing, by the way. I'm just saying this is just a
Oh, that's not even close. I'm sorry.
no. But no, what I'm saying is it's if it's your title and it's on your resume, the good and the bad goes to you. Point blank, period. It doesn't matter if you had help. It doesn't matter if you got derailed. It does not matter. If you were running the show during your time, during your term, the good and the bad is on your resume, period. That's how it goes. That's the rules in any job. It's on your resume. What happened when you were there? Did you have help? Who doesn't have help in business? Who doesn't get help? Who doesn't luck into things? Who doesn't fail their way to success sometimes? Who doesn't luckily just stumble upon something that changed their whole life, their whole career? Happens all the time. Who didn't have something so blatantly obvious and thought they were smarter than everyone else and went a different way and did something that cost them their career? It's all it is. It's on your watch. Good, bad, the ugly, on your watch. You get the credit, you get the blame. That's it.
Sounds good to me. So what was the Paul Gasol trade? Who was the orchestrator there? Because I also hear sometimes, even though I don't think he was there at the time, maybe he was.
It had nothing to do with Jerry West. None.
Right. That's what I thought.
None.
Yeah. So that Jerry West has a reputation that sometimes precedes him completely.
Mm-hmm. Because he's so his aura and his presence and his legend is so big that he gets attached to things that he had nothing to do with. And so he had nothing whatsoever to do with Pau Gasol. Nothing. Jerry West himself will tell you, we can't now, but he said that numerous times. And this is a guy who liked to take credit for stuff that he had nothing to do with. And he blatantly took no credit for this. Nothing. There's also a wrinkle to this, though, is because his understudy is the guy who made the trade. But I do believe he had nothing to do with it because, again, like Gerald pointed out, you still have to sell that to the owner. And why is the owner going to give away the franchise player to the guy's former team as he's on his way out the door? That doesn't make any sense. They'd given up. They couldn't win with him.
I think what made the trade intriguing is the fact that they did it in secret.
Well, back and I mean, that point, Kupchak often operate. This wasn't everyone said, oh, the Lakers move in silence and shadows. That the only time the Lakers had leaks is when Magic was there. Outside of that, the Lakers don't leak much. It's why all the media people hate them, because they can't get nothing out of them. They can't get nothing out of them, so they hate them. They can't get inside unless it's leaked to benefit an agenda. But they don't really get anything until after talks are done or dead. They don't get nothing from them. So that, and you could argue now in hindsight, yeah, the Lakers won championships, but that trade worked out very well for Memphis. It worked out very well for Memphis. Marc Gasol had a great career there. They did better with Mark than they did with Powell. Mark's not a better player, but the team did better. That trade set him up for the future.
That just set the stage for me in terms of knowing who Greg Popovich, Dan Gilbert, and Mark Cuban were really. They showed the true selves after that trade. And what they showed is they showed themselves to be a bunch of fucking cowards. That's what I got out of that trade, besides the obvious. And that's where the disdain comes from a lot of times, from just the competitive side of things and why maybe it sounds toxic. It's hard, I guess, being a Laker Dodger fan from the standpoint of the hate. Even before the Dodgers were winning World Series, they were always hated. So this whole thing with people hating the Dodgers is not something new. People hated the Dodgers in 1988, 89, 90, 91, 92. When I was a kid, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, all I got was hate for being a Dodger fan. And not that it didn't affect me. I'm just saying I'm used to it. So hate while they're winning on top of that is no different. It's not. It's this. There's no difference. People don't like LA, and they for some reason hated the Dodgers, and then Dodgers are not exactly innocent in this case. The activities that go on at the stadium sometimes is left to be desired. And you've seen me lately joke about that, Jeff. I'm not a big proponent with these meatheads doing what they do, because I've been to that stadium at least 50 times in my life. I've never had one issue.
I've never, and any issue I did have was usually my fault back in the day. But yeah,
So you started shit.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, it was a long
What the fuck
time
did you
ago.
do that for? Why do you do shit like that?
It was stupid. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I go to that stadium. There's times I've been to that stadium 50 times in a season, and I never have. One time was so dumb. You know, it's funny because a lot of people don't realize Dodger Stadium has a jail, Disneyland has a jail, Magic Mountain has a jail. I've been in all three. I've been in all three. But that was a very
dubious honor, my friend. That's a
You know
dubious
what's
honor.
funny? You call me
No.
Shrek, and you call me nuts.
You are nuts.
You call me all these things. I've never done shit like that.
I get. What did I tell you earlier? What did I say earlier? I go, everyone thinks because you're loud and in your face that you're the one, and I'm the guy that you say is always, he's a nice guy. He's the nice guy. I
do that to fuck with you. I know you're not nice.
Yeah. But I have a line. I keep it very, very, look, I never start anything, right? I don't start anything. I'm respectful. I talk to people with respect. I treat people with respect. I will debate. I will argue. I will have a spirited conversation. I will never put a hand on someone first.
Search, can
But
I
you put
ask
a hand on me? Like, you got to handle me. All right. No, but go ahead, Joe.
No, I was going to ask Search if you could do me a favor and update your Wikipedia page to make sure that's mentioned right there in that first paragraph. First person to be in jail for Disneyland, Dodger Stadium, and
That's pretty good. Do you have a Wikipedia page?
Not yet.
Jeff?
Not yet.
No,
Work on that first. But yes, if Search can, my friend, I appreciate it. Big shout out to Search.
So there's a fine line between being a badass and being a fake badass. And
yeah,
a lot
I
of
don't
that,
claim to be a badass. I not at all.
I do.
Not at all.
I do.
Yeah.
I
No, I
claim to be
don't.
it.
I don't. I'm a defender. I'm a defender, right? I think you could say, like, if someone, I don't like people getting bullied. I don't like people getting picked on. I don't like men snapping on their women in public. I don't like parents degrading their children in public. I don't like people dragging this. What takes me to the limit now is I see someone dragging their dog like up the block, like by their throat. And I like there's certain things that I just can't let go. There's plenty I can. If someone comes up and talks shit to my face, I can let it go for the most part. I can, like, whatever. Hey, they put hands on me, they gotta handle me. It's different. But talking to my face, I'm too old. I'm not gonna walk around. I'll just say bye. I'm not gonna, put my, I'm not gonna risk, like, I'm not gonna do any of that. But I see you dragging your dog up the block. I'm gonna drag your ass up blocks. Like, I'm just telling you. Like, so, like, there's certain things I just can't tolerate. People, I guess, just like picking on or degrading someone in public, and I don't deal with that well.
You went to Disneyland jail?
I did, and it.
Did Mickey fuck with you over there while you're taking pictures?
Maybe his name was Miguel, but not Mickey. But I don't know. But like, there was a brawl.
Hold on. Was there a torta involved?
Oh, several.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man.
Several.
Knew it.
And the thing was, it was one of those things that you were in it before you knew it. Like, you know what I mean? When things escalate just quickly, and when you're in it, you're in it. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, There was no avoiding it.
Should we start calling you the Torta King?
No, I'm not a torta king. You wake up. I mean, you just kind of like look up and you're in the center of something that you have no way out of other than fighting your way out of. Like, it just is what it is. And being where I like grew up and came up in, this wasn't an abnormal occurrence, right? Stuff could be beautiful, and I've had more than a few for sure. You could be having a great day, and all of a sudden it's hell. It just goes to hell, right? And it's just out of nowhere, and you had nothing to do with it, but you're in it. And that's just how it is.
Joe, when was the last time you threw hands?
Through hands?
Yeah.
I'd probably say about 10 years ago.
Really? That soon?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Was it a customer or something?
No, it's just kids party. Just parents like Jeff said, you just see people doing some things for their kids, and it's just not good. You just
yeah, I can't tolerate that, bro.
But this was the other one was a soccer game. I was assistant coach, and the head coaches of both sides, they were talking, and those when you coach those soccer games, they're wide fields. They were talking shit to each other for the entire game, and until like second half, they just had enough. So in the middle of the game, they decided to go ahead and meet, just like in a Western, right there, right? They faced off against each other, and they went the pull apart brawl. That was probably the wildest one, because not only did I have to go ahead and try and hold him back, and he's swinging, and the other coach is swinging, but then the assistant coaches all, and then parents are swinging it, and we're just like all in this melee, and just like, first of all, it's just like
it's a kids event.
It's a kids, and the kids are stunned.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yes,
it's terrible. Like I've had a few. I
picked him up and moved him back to the sidelines.
I've seen that happen more time than it should have, and it's always the ego of the coach. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes you have a really bad parent.
No, you're
really
spot
bad
on,
parent.
You're spot on there. It was the ego of the coach.
Yeah. So I coached AAU for 10 years, and the things that I saw. This is one of the things why I always push back on narratives and push back on people who think they're smarter than everyone when they're not. Like, it's one of the things I always push back on, because it's witnessing all that. And these dudes, because they coached basketball, thought that they were gods, right? I never acted like that when I coached. Never. I learned as much from my players as I taught them. And these guys walked around like it was all about them. And I never allowed myself to carry myself that way, because it was never about me. I'm not on the floor. You know what I mean? I can give them a game plan. I can try to execute some things. I can try to manage the game the best I can from the sideline, but they're the ones in it. They're the ones facing the pressure. They're the ones, being guarded. They're the ones that are hearing parents and siblings and other teams screaming on the sidelines. They're the ones that got some girl they're trying to date on the sideline, watching them, waiting to see if they can deliver or not. Like, I never put myself in the position where I was more important than them. I was important, but they were the one doing the work. And so when coaches cross that line, and it happened way more often than it should have, like, it's one of the reasons why I rarely had assistant coaches, because I never got a technical in my entire coaching time. And I wasn't going to let someone else get up there and I had some that were too fiery. I'm like, you can come to practice, but you're not on the bench during games, because you're not going to cost us a point, and you're not going to cost a fight. You're not going to lose me a player. You're not going to do any of that. And so but it's either the egotistical coach, or you get that parent, man, that parent. And oh my God, and it just spirals out of control before you know it. And you're in an area where there's so many people that you're right. It's like a domino effect, right, Gerald? Like it starts with two people usually, and then before you know it, it could be as many as 20.
And they were doing it all, and just little by little, and they were taking shots. They stopped yelling at the kids or stopped giving direction to the kids, and just started talking smack to each other.
Yeah,
about
they've
dirty
lost purpose of what
plays.
they're doing there. Yeah.
Exactly. And just, yeah, it just blew up. And then just finally they had enough. And they went, and I'm like, oh shit, he's going out to the field. Oh man. And I'm just immediately just like damage control. And then all of a sudden you see hands flying everywhere. And
Yeah.
I've got like, and I'm just like just like pushing people back while I'm trying to hold the coach back. And me and the other assistant coach are just trying to, yeah, it was about 7 or 8 people. I think I remember that time during the whole brawl.
To AAU back then had a zero tolerance. If you did that, you were gone. You were out. You couldn't coach anymore. You couldn't coach anymore back then. If you did that, you were out.
Nothing happened.
Setting the precedent is important. Getting to things early, and then of course knowing where not to be. That's ultimately the greatest gift to have in life, in my view. That's and unfortunately,
Parents get so mad, Jay.
you may have to not do something you probably would love to do, because in the end, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Politics in things is ultimately what destroys everything.
Yep.
And not politics like who's president, who's mayor. I'm talking about personality politics.
Agendas.
Mm-hmm. So the reason why there hasn't been too many conflicts, at least on my end, is you recognize those things. And if you're not the shot caller, you're at somebody else's bidding. That means if you're coaching a team and someone's in charge of you coaching that team, you're not basically Nick Saban at Alabama. Nick Saban could have told the AD, could have told the president of Alabama to go fly fishing, right? Unless you're in that position, it's impossible for you to really do exactly what you need to do, because no one does things like you. When there are very few people out there that focus on the job without distraction. And a lot of people don't have the opportunity to continue to execute it because of outside agendas and whatever, politics, right? I don't give a fuck about anything when it comes to a job. I don't care about if there's flies, if there's mosquitoes, if you're barring, let's say if somebody's wife is sick or kid's sick, that's obviously all normal stuff. That's not in any way a bad thing. But if I find out you are at the whim of your spouse and you're making decisions with your job based on that, your fucking ass is gone. I don't have problems at home. My wife doesn't tell me what to do. I could get the fuck up right now and go wherever the fuck I want. I'm a grown-ass fucking man. If she's worried about me going and banging around, then we should be married. Okay? Very simple life. I live a very simple life. My kids don't talk back. They don't disrespect. Doesn't matter if they were 10, 8, 14, 16, doesn't fucking matter. You don't disrespect your mother. You don't disrespect your father. You don't disrespect your grandparents. You don't disrespect adults in a position where they're teaching you something or they're guiding you somewhere. There's no discussion with that. I shouldn't have to tell you that anyways. What puts a monkey wrench in all that is money, notoriety, fame. I don't need to be any of those things. I like it. Sure, I'd like to be famous and rich and adulation and all that. Sure, why not? Have some fun with it. But not at the expense of the family being kind of marginalized or my friends being marginalized. Those are things that are very difficult to put together and have it work unless you are in a position to make that call. And that is hard for people. It's hard for people to do it. They have to pick one or the other. So how I met Gerald. Gerald introduced himself to a Lakers site that I frequent, still do, and was asking to see if anybody wanted to come onto his podcast. That was 2021. Jeff, how did we meet? Were you on Gerald's show and that's how we connected?
I want to say that.
I think that's what happened.
I don't know how else we would have. Yeah.
I think you were on the Lakers Fast Break. That's how we connected.
Hmm?
Yeah. And you
And
said
I'm so
something
sorry
about the
that. I want to
Dodgers.
personally apologize for that very much. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah. You said something about the Dodgers, and my ears perked up.
Ooh.
It's the only time I've heard anybody talk about baseball like my brain works. It's like, who? This guy knows his shit. So that's the beginnings of this, and now here we are, 5 years later with Gerald, 3 years later with Empire Jeff. I just went live for the first time on my Twitter X.
You should do this each time. I don't know why you don't have your Facebook up here. Ready to
No, I will. I'm getting started on that. I wouldn't say I got a boner from it, Roaster. That's pretty disgusting, but I'd say it was the first time hearing somebody else speak the language. It's just that's all it is. I'm not. It's got nothing to do with Cox Cable or boners or any of that stuff or that kind of. Yeah, you're a pretty sick guy, Joker. Thanks.
I think Search is right. I think I ended up on Lakers Fast Break via Search. I ended up on a lot of initial things via Search. Like Search found me when I was like, good God, I don't even know how many like subscribers or views I was getting at the time. I was like barely getting started, and I don't know if he saw me on someone else's channel. I don't know how. I don't remember how Search found me. But when he found me, Search was like placing me everywhere. Like Search was like my booking agent out the gate. So I definitely ended up on Lakers Fast Break because of Search. That's a fact.
So Search was the network.
Mm-hmm.
So we should give Search a reward for that then, right?
You're a flowers guy, Joe. You love giving flowers, and you love saying.
But my wife likes flowers in the kitchen.
You love saying thank you. You love giving flowers, Joe. Like that's just.
I'm talking literal flowers, though, not flowers like.
No. You're a flower giving, complimental. You're a very.
Oh, that's the other thing too. I forgot that's the one. People who need.
Attaboys?
Oh my God, I stay away from those motherfuckers.
Yeah,
those are the worst, by the way.
Yeah.
No one worse to work with. And by the way, I've never really had this problem because I've already identified that before I even started a business. Stay away from people who need to be thanked every 5 fucking minutes.
They need all the credit, all the accolades. Yeah, I don't.
You want to get credit for doing shit. You better keep, you then do the job. But if you need it for something like moving a shovel to a fucking truck, yeah, you're out. You know what though, man? You have to figure it out. It's your fault at some point. No matter how bad someone is, at some point, you got to get to that point where you got to be able to identify that. Every time I hear about, oh man, fuck this. Oh man, I can't believe this guy did this. I go, how long have you been in business? I've been in business for 22 years, and these guys, man, they never do anything right. I'm like, who hires these people? Well, I do. I'm like, well, don't you think at some point you got to start looking at yourself? Well, you can't find good help these days. I'm like, that's bullshit. How come I found people that can help?
You can find good help, but you got to pay them.
You got to find it.
You got to treat them right. You got to pay them right, and you can't just try to pay the least, treat them the worst.
Oh my God! So she was a cool chick. Don't get me wrong, but she came and bought turf for me, and she kept hinting, I don't trust anybody. Okay, I get it. No problem. I get it. Believe me, I do. But then I end up finding out because she kept hitting me up for some questions about how to lay this stuff down. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking at the first phase of things. I'm like, for what you bought, for what, whatever. And I guess it's okay, but that seam is whack. You got to figure that out. She goes, yeah, well, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I paid him $300. And I'm just like, paid him $300. I mean, this fucking place was like 1,000 square feet. I go, are you talking about $300 like for the day? She's like, no, for the front and the back. I go, are you fucking nuts? You're paying one guy to put 1,000 in the front yard, and she bought almost 2,000 square feet. I go, you're paying a guy $300 to put 2,000 square feet of turf on the ground by himself. I go, this is why you don't trust anybody, because you don't pay anybody. I go, no one is going to do anything right for $300. I would have laughed at you if you had said 3,000 to me. I'd be like, 3,000? What are you, crazy? What, you want me to go beg for change on the corner? The amount of entitlement that a regular human being has for the Walmart mentality is astonishing.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, who need a little bit of a lesson on why shit is the way it is right now, it's because we've allowed ourselves to get duped by all that shitty infomercial garbage for the last 35 years and all those 2-for-1 deals at Walmart. There used to be a time where people laughed at people when they went to Kmart. Blue light special, cheap. There was pride. I'm not going to Kmart. It's a cheap ass place. Now, Walmart. Oh. I can get a box of cereal that's going to have maltodextrin up and down in that sucker with artificial flavors for $2.99 instead of paying $5.99 at the supermarket. The local supermarket that will be a little bit more friendly with you and be more human instead of some Walmart fucking disaster that's going to be like, I don't give a fuck what you are. What aisle is this? I don't know. So remember, guys, stop blaming people for what's happened. The people did it, not me, because I don't buy cheap shit. You did it. Keep buying, keep looking for cheap shit day in and day out at some point. And by the way, the people that are always looking for cheap shit, they're the brokest people you'll meet. I know, because I have a couple friends of mine that are like that. Love them to death, but cheap as fuck. Buy quality, and your life will be quality. It sets the stage for looking at things in a better way. Pick the right spouse. That's another thing that's bad right now. Fucking divorces all over the place. And with the kids. I'm making it sound pretty easy though, aren't I? Like, oh, just do this.
I mean, but it is easy when you go into things for the right reasons. It is easy. Like I come from the same place. Like I've been married, 12. We just had our anniversary. 12 years now. Been married 12 years. Been with the same woman since 2007. You've met my wife. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, like you've seen us, right? Like you've seen us interact. Like it's the easiest thing in the world to your life is so much easier when you are with the right people. People fuck up shit more than anything. With and around the right people, things become easier. When you work with the right people, work for or with the right people, live with the right people, you know, in my opinion, a lot of times is raised by the right people, and still around the right people from that aspect, like that it impacts how you are with people and how you are with your life. And so when you surround yourself with bad people, we've all got friends that we've known forever, and if we met them today, we would never be friends with them, but because we've known them for forever, we it's just kind of grandfathered in, right? But you also know what they are and who they are, and you know when and when not to be around them and who to bring them around, and like all this stuff, right? So, but at the end of the day, you know, when you're with the right person and you work with or for the right people, you do business with the right people and live with the right people, like life is so much easier when you don't try to force things, and you don't try to rush things, and you don't try to just get married to get married and have kids just to have kids and just work to have a job and hate being there or hate coming home because you're with the wrong person. All of these things you have control over. You just choose not to. That's all it is. Is it easy to get up and just walk out of a place not knowing what you're going to do next? No, but it's the right thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, is it easy to see someone and know that, okay, you've been together a little bit, but it's not going to work? You see no future there and pull the plug? No, it's not easy for some people, but it's the right thing to do. It's also very easy on the other side of that, when you do work with or for the right people and you do live with the right people, to go all in on that and make sure you do nothing to mess it up.
It's that simple, right?
It really is. It is simple when you make it simple.
Don't hang out with jerk-offs. Don't marry a jerk-off. Don't raise jerk-off kids, and you'll see how society will get better. And stop letting politics dictate your life. Every single one of those people that you're either against or for would watch you burn right in front of them and not give two fucks about you. Remember that. And that's the button on the experiment for tonight. Thank you, Jeff, for being here. It was a little bit of an impromptu get together for us. I'm glad it turned out the way it did. Gerald, 2 shows in one night, always a good thing. We had a good crowd tonight. This was the first time I've launched on X. I will continue to launch on Facebook and Instagram once I get those set up. But I want to thank everybody except Bot Palinka, because his dumbass is, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about, but I guess there's always one Nimrod that's here and there.
We just spent 90 minutes on my channel, Joe, praising LeBron. So Bot Palinka can just drop dead for all I care.
Again, we don't mind a couple of yo-yos in here just for
digitally,
shits and giggles, but
you can stay alive, real life.
He's a bot. You just got to unplug.
But again, I want to also say that Jeff, I get a lot, and Gerald, I get a lot of guys that are always begging us to get together. So, like, I got one the last couple of days. Hey, man, when are you gonna have a show? When are you guys gonna have a show? When are you gonna have a show together? The crowd wants it, so that's a lot of the reasons why I opened the show tonight. But man, very proud of the LA Lakers. Proud is the word I've been using for the last couple months now. I'm very proud of who, regardless of what happens in the end here, I'm proud of the team. It's been a while since I've been proud of them like this. It's really been a minute. But I'm very happy with how
don't forget about the Dodgers, man, because the Dodgers.
Well, the Dodgers.
We talk about that every day, though.
The Dodgers is. I mean, it's been 20 games went by quick. By the way, I'm just like, damn, 15-5 already. Wow, okay. I am, even though they lost it, I'm thoroughly enjoying just relaxing and watching just a juggernaut. I mean,
it took good right now.
It took really Colorado. I mean, they were hitting every damn gap, and they were hitting, and they were hitting, and they were hitting, and they were hitting. They played about as perfect as they could, and they still were I got to go back to the junior line again. They were a cut hair away from still losing. The Dodgers, when they lose, at least this year, they're losing because of one play. They're either whooping your ass or winning a close game or barely losing. Mm-hmm. This is 20 games. This isn't 6 games. This is 20 games. We're talking about this is starting to get into almost a third of the season. So, a quarter of the season, sorry. So, I'm thoroughly excited about, and I saw how upset Rushing was on that last at bat. That right there will tell you a lot about a player. He just hit a fucking nuke a few innings earlier, and he's been on a tear. All that shit didn't matter a fucking minute. He got that. He didn't hit there, and he was pissed. That's the kind of player I love watching. And then again, props to Roberts. He has mastered the Will Smith pinch hit like decision thing. Like, I mean, he's got it, dude. He's got it. He's got it figured out, and I'm just excited to just enjoy an amazing run here. And man, when this team gets to the playoffs and Roberts is able to turn on the freaking nukes, I just want to get out of that NLDS quick. That's all I care about. Just get out of that one. Sweep it this year. Get it out of there.
It'll be quick.
And no one's beating this team in a game 7. No one. I don't give a fuck. No,
I don't think a team's ever going to sniff a game 7 versus this team.
No. So that's where we are. Again, Jeff, thank you for being here. We got to do more of this. Gerald, obviously, I'll see you in the next few days for the Lakers fast break. Everyone, Drip, Search, Jays, even you, Bot. Thank you for being here. Who did I miss? El Rosto, RC Carino. Who else?
Rosto, right? El Rosto.
El Rosto. I already said El Rosto. I think that's everybody that's here right now. So everyone that was here before, thank you again. Again, for those of you on Twitter listening to the show for the first time or X, subscribe on our YouTube. I'm going to expand this as much as we can. I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Empire Jeff is. I know some of you are probably watching because of him. That's fun. That's the whole point of this show. So, any questions, any comments, please don't hesitate to comment on the YouTube or the X, and we'll definitely get to those answers as quickly as possible. Until then, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, and a good evening. And until next time, I'll see you next time.